Welcome back to TreknoPod. You are joining us on our continuing mission through season 1 of Enterprise. Yes, I am Captain Shoff, and with me every week on the bridge of our ship, the USS TreknoPod, is Captain Vactor. He's expendable, but we love him. How are you, sir?
I'm doing excellent. I pitched a tent for this episode. I'm ready to go. I got spores in the back. I can't wait. Let's do this.
And Captain Linda Paiges, how are you today?
Hello. I'm so great. How are you?
Doing excellent. She's joining us from a different section of the ship. She's recently moved into her dorm on campus, or not on campus.
Yes, on campus? It's like an on-campus apartment. So we still have like RAs and everything, but I have my own bedroom and bathroom. I have a full-size bed instead of a twin XL this year. Super excited. Yeah.
Moving up.
Yep.
Moving up.
Officially an upperclassman. Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, we're talking about episode 4 of season 1, which is Strange New World. No, not Strange New Worlds. That's another show, which is also awesome. But this one is early on in the missions of the NX-01. So we're going to be talking about everything that went down in this episode, and it was crazy. It was kooky. It was a camping fiasco, and we're going to get into it. So I have a ton of notes. I never intend to write so many notes, but it just, for whatever reason, this show makes my thumbs go crazy when I'm watching. So I got a bunch of stuff, but I don't want to be the one to start things off. So we're going to go ladies first. Linda, what did you think of the episode?
Okay, so I really liked it. This is our second dark creepy episode in a row, which I'm really excited about. I hope that a lot of the series is like this because I don't know, I love horror. I love like darker Trek like this. That's kind of creepy. So I was really excited about that. This did reaffirm the fact I wasn't planning on ever going camping, but this reaffirmed the fact that I will not be doing that. So that's just added to the list of reasons why that won't be happening. So yeah, I felt reaffirmed in my decision. I was like, see, this is why you don't camp. This is why we stay on the starship. So
yeah, right.
But yeah, I thought this episode was really good. I really enjoyed it a lot. I'm really getting into Enterprise. Like, this is quickly becoming something I'm looking forward to watching every week.
Nice.
That's great. I really enjoy it.
That's great.
Yeah.
Vactor, what about you?
Yeah, this was another winner for me. I really enjoyed this episode. This is what I wanted out of this show, and I'm glad that we're getting, like Linda said, this kind of the horror vibe, and then also it's reminiscent of those classic away mission gone awry. Like there's these things that it's kind of like a classic Trek formula. But at the end of the day, it's like I said, it's exactly what I want. I'm invested in these characters now. I'm getting to know them better. And it's the storytelling, like all Star Trek. Like that's the reason why I love Star Trek, is it puts characters that you like and love in these situations that you're like, oh, how are they going to get out of this? Besides, like I said last week, the CG, everything for this episode to me was fantastic. So I love this. Another banger, Shoff.
Yes, and you touched on something perfectly. I also enjoyed this episode. Obviously, I've seen it. Maybe this is my third time, I think, probably watching it. But it's been long enough that I don't really remember it. Like it's been long enough for the show that there's so much of the plot of these episodes that I have not retained, did not download in the right folder, and I have not saved it properly. So that's good. So I can enjoy it almost like the first time. Maybe it's just because of my old age. I don't know, but we'll take it. But this episode definitely captured a classic Trek trope, which is the caves.
Oh yeah.
Having an episode take place in the caves is totally Trek all the way. And not only that, but I wanted to give you a brief bit of trivia. So this episode was filmed on location in Bronson Canyon or Bronson Caves, which is actually a really popular spot in Trek. And it's been used for a lot of other stuff too, but it was featured in Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country. It has found its way into every Star Trek show that preceded Enterprise. So original series, Next Gen, Voyager, Deep Space Nine, and of course Enterprise. And this one's going to really tickle Captain Vactor. The West Portal, which is seen in this episode, was used as the entrance to the Batcave in the 1960s TV series.
See that, yes.
Batman.
Yes, that makes perfect sense.
Do we know what episode of Voyager these caves appeared in?
That's a great question. On Wikipedia, which is where I get all of my information from, it did not specify, but we could find this out.
I have a guess. I think it might be the one. No, I'm not going to say that. Actually, never mind. I think.
Well, you're probably right. I mean, you're the Voyager aficionado of the group, so I would trust what you said.
I will be investigating this further after the podcast.
But yeah, so it's been heavily featured on a lot of different things, but I just thought that was kind of ironic and appropriate that early on in this show, they've already gone into the caves and had quite the adventure in there too. So
it's like that. Yeah,
so let's kind of get into it. Yeah. We get to see some other crewmen in this episode, which is nice. So we get to kind of flesh out a little bit more of the 86 person crew of the Enterprise. We get, I had it up and I lost it. But anyways, we get Ensign or crewman Novakovich, and we get crewman, what is their names? Cutler. And Cutler loves bugs. She just loves them. She reads about them while she sips on soup, and she can't get enough about bugs unless she's sitting by a campfire. And then if a bug even gets near her, she's swatting it away. So she's a little bit of a weirdo, but it's okay. But anyway, so they are really excited because the Enterprise has now passed by this planet, and they weren't expecting to come across a planet, I guess. And all the crew is just like really like just staring out the windows, which I thought was kind of funny. They were all just like captivated by a planet, because that's another thing about this show is there's so much wide-eyed wonder that happens with the crew, and every other show that has happened since, they almost never have the same level of wonder about things happening because they're just all old hat, like they're used to it. Going by a planet, that's no big thing, right? Like, but for this crew to pass by a planet, they're all like have their cheeks up against the glass, fogging up the windows because they've passed in not just any planet, but an N-class Mshara planet. And this is actually the first time that they've ever referenced the word Mshara on a Trek show, which is pretty cool. I don't know if you guys knew that.
I did not know.
But it's true.
I did not.
So
I did find the episode of Voyager is season 1, episode 11, State of Flux, that they filmed at Bronson Canyon.
Oh.
Well, there you go. That's the one you thought it was, right? Right, Linda?
It's not the one I thought it was, actually. I was thinking, and this is why I didn't say it, because I have, it's been a minute since I've watched this episode, but I was thinking of the one where B'Elanna goes through Ponfar, and I was thinking of that moment with her in Paris in the cave. I think it's or maybe it's not a cave. I don't know. I felt like there was a cave somewhere in there, but then I couldn't remember if there was a cave, so then I just didn't say anything. I couldn't remember if it was actually a cave. So yeah, that was not what I was thinking
looks like
of, but
season 2, episode 1, the 37s was also filmed, or scenes were also filmed in Bronson Canyon.
Okay, my second guess was going to be end of season 2, beginning of season 3, the basics part 1 and 2.
I think we just got to do a Voyager rewatch. We got to do it.
I guess so. That would just be totally fine by Linda, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I would
like,
need
I have to
to
watch it again.
No, we just finished Caretaker last night, but I'm going through with someone, and he's watching it for the first time.
Oh yes,
and he had lots of questions, obviously, because I think Voyager's a weird one to start with, like this, but I did think it was funny because we get to the case and he goes, "Wow, this show just has everything." It's like, I feel like we've seen everything. Like, how could there be more? Like, so, yeah.
The one thing about Voyager I always found funny, and I'm currently in a rewatch right now, and I'm in the middle of maybe like 4 or 5 episodes into season 4. And
so you're moving fast. I feel like you were on season 2 like last week.
I know. Yeah, I'm so alone. But one thing I've always found kind of funny about Voyager, and it seems to be more apparent on this show than any other show in Trek, is that the alien species of the week, whatever it may be, they always have like paper mache in their hair.
Yeah,
that's what makes them aliens. Like otherwise they're like totally normal human looking, but they've just got like dried crusty fabric in their hair, and that's what. And I mean all of them.
And as the series continues, I feel like it becomes less of that, and then the new thing becomes like they're somehow reptilian in some way.
Yes.
Like as you get a little farther in, so I think season 4 is probably the last season where that's like super common, and then like, I think 5, 6, and 7, because you got like the episode where they find like dinosaurs evolved and then like left the planet, and they find the Delta Quadrant, blah blah blah, and you like find all this. So those are all to my memory. In 30 days, those aliens were like slightly reptilian, humanoid-ish. So yeah, that's definitely a Voyager thing for sure.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to leaving the paper mache galaxy, and moving on to something else. But yeah, so this show, Enterprise, of course, they find this planet and they decide they want to go check it out, and they're very impatient about not wanting to send probes first. Trip has a kind of like a funny line where he's like, "You expect me to wait a week and let the probes have all the fun?" Like, and I'm like, it is so reflective of just like humanity. We're so impatient.
But like, wouldn't you want to go explore the planet? Like, if you're like, I would totally want to go explore that, and that's the thing too. Like, we've talked about this before, but again, prevalent in this episode is just like we want to explore. Like, this is all very new to us. Like, you know, us being humanity. Like, I mean, if that were me, if I were on the Enterprise and it's like the first planet I get to explore, like I'm beaming down. Like, once we know it's safe and like the air is breathable, I'm there because it's. You get to say you were one of the first humans on that planet and exploring it, and that's just that's such an incredible. There's no bigger flex than that, I don't think. Like that's pretty much the like, yeah. So,
and I think that's going to be the theme of this whole show. Shoff, don't spoil us, but the inexperience and the eagerness of the crew to want to explore. And that's what I love about this show so far that we've gotten is it's so close to our own timeline or our own time period that it's so relatable. Like it feels like what Linda just said, like, yeah, I would want to do that too. I'd be eager. And the same way that the crew was kind of like cooped up and they're like, I want to get out of here. I want to, they're kind of going stir crazy, but their over enthusiasm leads them into danger because they're so inexperienced. And I think a lot of the episodes, at least in this first season, are going to be using that as plot devices and kind of pushing the momentum forward of, hey, these guys, this is pre-Federation. There's like a lot of protocols that haven't been put in place yet, and they don't know exactly what they're doing. That's kind of the fun of this show versus some of the other ones. And the technology is not as advanced, so they don't have as many things to help them. So
they don't even have tents that can stay in the ground. So I mean that
it's also really interesting to see because when we're watching Enterprise, we're talking about how relatable it is that they want to explore and how like their over eagerness is relatable, and we are on the side of the humans as opposed to like to Paul, who's like, no, like we're because she's used to it, right? Like she's like, yeah, it's a planet, like big deal.
She's like, I've been on like 36 of these. It's okay.
Right. It's interesting that and I think it would be pretty common. I think it's common when you're watching Enterprise. Like, I don't think it's just us. I think most people probably feel that way watching Enterprise. Like, yeah, like I'm on the side of the humans. Like I would want to explore and everything too. But then this is one of the biggest criticisms of Janeway and Voyager is that she wants to explore as opposed to just getting them home. So I just think it's interesting because she still has that, like, that she wants to stop at every planet and investigate everything. But like, I think that I like that they have that they went back and emphasized that in Enterprise, because I think that's more like what humans would actually want to do. And that they like, it kind of set the stage later because this is a prequel for like, I don't know. That was
what comes next.
Like, Like, I think like maintaining that would be more realistic than like, but also like it's been years now and they're like, this is like normal and they go to different planets all the time and everything. So, but it just, throw that out there.
Well, interestingly enough, so this episode was written by some kind of veteran Star Trek writers who have done stuff for Voyager as well. And when they were asked to write for this episode, at the time, they still had yet to cast Archer, and they hadn't even begun the filming of the pilot. So when you kind of see like how Archer behaves in this episode, I almost feel like he's a little bit more positive than maybe in some of the other prior episodes. Like he just seems like a little bit happier and like more smiley and stuff. And I think that that's a little bit just reflective of their take on the character of Archer. But like,
interesting.
One thing I love is as soon as they decide they're going to go ahead and land, who's the first one out of the shuttle? Our boy Porthos, the Beagle.
Yes. He said where no dog has gone before. Yeah, exactly. And I was like,
tracking shot.
And Archer is just so happy in his NX-01 hat because he's a dad to a dog. and just like immediately Porthos runs out of the shuttle pod and goes for a tree, and off you just know off camera as soon as they cut away, Porthos is lifting his leg on this alien world and like marking his territory on this alien planet. I mean and to me, I was like, this is so human. Like this whole thing, like you bring your dog with
But also, like, is this not a huge violation of like?
Right.
Okay, someone commented on our last TreknoPod post to TikTok and was like, they just released the slug on this alien planet. Like, they just released this invasive species to this planet.
Yes.
And that's all I could think about when Porthos ran out. I was like, you have no idea what lives here. You haven't looked at any of the life. It's dangerous not only for your dog, because what the hell is here? Like, you don't know. Like, something could just run out of the woods and eat it. Like, you don't know. And then also like. Or like there could be a poisonous plant. You just don't know. So I thought that was super. So Archer is like a super irresponsible dog owner, is what we're learning here.
Right.
I mean, like, again, if this were like TNG, it would be like, okay, like you scanned it or whatever. Like the technology is advanced enough where like you knew, but like it's not. It's Enterprise, so we're not that advanced yet, and that just felt irresponsible dog owner. And then also like you don't know what he'll introduce to the environment. Like there were just so many issues with Porthos being on the planet. Like this was a dumb thing to do. It was cute though.
I thought it was, even from the extent of him being a captain and leaving the crew to camp overnight, and there wasn't any safety measures in place, and they don't like they're going off of their scans, but then their scans like there's a lot of things that haven't been worked out yet. Like I said, there's a lot of protocols that aren't in place. So I feel like Archer, I mean, everybody's learning. Like this is still this big learning thing. And that's kind of what makes it fun to see all of these things like, oh, this is like the early missions that we're so used to the later ones. It's like, it's interesting to see the early ones.
I truly cannot imagine a situation where I'd be like, hey, you know what I'm going to do tonight? I'm going to sleep outside in the tent. I don't have to. It's not a survival thing. This is a choice. Right. Like if I ever say that, that's not me. Like, that's a changeling. It's not me. Like, kill that Linda. Like, she's evil. Like, that's
phasers not to stun, phasers to kill on that one.
No, that's not me.
I've always that when I was growing up, I was like, why would I want to go away from my TV and my video games? Why would I want to? Now I'm like, why do I want to go where there's might not be any internet or cell phone connection?
Or like bugs.
I don't want to go outside. Yeah,
like you want me to sleep? No. You want me to sleep on the floor with the spiders? Are you dumb? Why would I?
So I'm
never ever. And I'm a Girl Scout. Like I was a Girl Scout my whole life, like from the moment that I could be. And for a while I earned like every badge that there was to earn. So when I got to the camping badges, what we would do is like we would literally set up tents in my backyard and we would just camp in the backyard. Like, but we were using like the bathrooms inside and like
I was gonna say I could do
and everything
that.
Like inside. Like so
still
it was like
raiding
all the
pantry.
Right, exactly. Like we had all the snacks.
That's my type of camping right there.
Exactly. So that was that. And I was done. Like I was like, this is fun and everyone's great, but like I want my own bed tonight. Like I'm good. Like I was not a camp person. Like I did a Girl Scout camp a couple times and I was like, screw that. There are too many spiders out here. There's no AC and too many spiders. I'm out.
Well, what's interesting is T'Pol even already, like before they decided to stay, she already warned everybody. She's like, there's some nocturnal marsupials in the area, but we probably shouldn't. And he's like, no, let's make it shore leave as well. Yeah. And
whose idea? Like go to Risa. Like whose idea of shore leave is camping on a planet with hallucinogens? Okay. All right. I mean, maybe someone's idea, but like not fun hallucinogens.
Yeah. Speaking of which, like so many missteps, just like from the naivete of like this crew, but like the dude who ends up being the first one to really go crazy, he's the one who kind of, you can. About 7 minutes in, he's like, the whole thing is like foreshadowed because he's off in like a flower field and he like, first of all, he like breaks a flower off. So he's like damaging the environment. Right. And then he puts it up to his nose and he's like freaking snorting this flower. He's like, I want to smell it. He's like, I want to get it right up in there. And he's like, let me check on this one. He's like, I'm going to put it right up on this side. No wonder you go crazy.
Like it is kind of funny though. Cause like they would either never do that in some of the earlier / later series, like later in timeline, earlier. But at that point too, like has Starfleet Academy, like have those courses been updated? Like is Enterprise the reason where they were like, yeah, all these people did all this in retrospect really dumb things. Like let's teach you how to not do that because that was stupid. Like
we studied Archer's logs and we built some rules here.
We made a few rules. Like that's kind of how I imagined everything happened with Kirk, but I feel like maybe Archer was the one who really started.
I feel like this is 100% like they're trying to justify this is why the Prime Directive was set up and why there's like away mission protocols. I feel like this is the reason, and then that makes sense. Like it's like, oh, okay, yeah, that fits in. Even though this show came later, that fits into when you put it in the timeline before the original series, before Strange New Worlds.
This is why we don't snort random plants on alien planets. This is why, like,
like you said, the Archer law.
This is why we take a hypo spray. Yeah, exactly. This is why we take hypo sprays when our captain tells us to take hypo sprays.
Yeah.
You know, like
Oh my gosh. But there's a lot in this episode that just feels like what we would do. Like we would make these mistakes as people.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Even down to like the kind of like the dumb stuff of just deciding to take a picture together, like that I felt was a moment
that was really awesome.
I was like, this is exactly like, let's take a selfie. Let's take a selfie.
What would happen. Yes,
exactly.
100%. I thought the same thing. I was like, this is so, and I could only imagine. I was like, this would be my mom. This would be my mom. Like, okay, everyone get in for the picture.
Get in
like,
together. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, sluggo, everybody.
I was like, this is so like.
What killed me about the photo is like you can tell there's no way they were all visible in the shot. Like
no.
Archer and T'Pol are blocking the crewmen behind, and the crewmen are doing nothing to be like over the shoulder, like, hey, how you do? You know,
it's
like, I want to be part of this.
It's blocked. There was another scene, towards the beginning that I remember, and I was like half watching because I was like putting some of my clothes away, but there was a scene where I was like, I feel like that was blocked really strangely, and Archer said something, I think it was like, I need to know if these 4 crewmen are going to be dead when we get to them or something, but like, or something, but he said something that seemed like he should stand there and like wait for a response for a second or like let it sink in, but he says it like as he's walking out, like he says it and then immediately turns to leave, and it was like, I remember I was like, that was really blocked strangely. Like I feel like that should have been like a bigger moment of like some eye contact there, some tension, and then like let it sink in, like the weight of what he just said, and then turn to leave. But it just like he just said it and literally immediately turned around and left, and it just kind of took away from the like.
They're like, okay, I guess we'll focus on Phlox for the rest of the
right. It was straight, but like it did. I don't think it went back. I don't think there was a shot that went back to him. It was just a strange like. I was like, that was such a weird like, and that's not something I like normally pick up on, but I was like, that was a weird way to do that. Like that was a strange interpretation of that like scene.
Another thing that I felt was really human about this episode was that they wear like baseball caps. Like
yes,
just that in itself feels so like they're us. I could see us in them. And by the way, I want an NX-01 hat, even though they don't seem like they fit their heads. I still want one. Like even I've got a big noggin, but like if it'll fit my head, I want one because that I don't know. They just made it look so cool.
There was one at Star Trek Orlando that I should. Well, there was a Starfleet Academy one that I really wanted, but I
like that too. Yeah, that one. I almost cool.
bought a blue Enterprise jacket. And then the inside of it had like the Enterprise schematics too, which was really cool.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it was really cool. I almost bought that, and then I did look at the NX-01 hat. But if I had bought a hat, it would be the Starfleet Academy one. But yeah, they did have that there, so I'm gonna have to do a lot of shopping for Enterprise. Unfortunately, I am getting into it. So you know, yeah, my wallet's unhappy, but.
Well, that's good. You're embracing the show, and you're really getting into it. And I love that. Yeah. So this. Another episode where Travis felt the need to remind people that he grew up in space. But what I think the best part is you can tell the rest of the crew is getting a little bit tired of it because Trip turns to him. He's like, I can't imagine not going to sleep between a pair of nacelles. And Trip is like, okay, space boomer. You know, he was like,
that was funny. That was really funny.
Yeah, like, they're all just over it. They're like, okay, Travis, we get it. Like, okay, you grew up in space.
You grew up in space. Cool. Big deal. Yeah, I do. It is interesting though, because the only time we really see that other than this is like they talk obviously on The Next Generation. There's kids. They have like Holdick and then like in Deep Space Nine, but it's like it's really like normalized for kids to be like growing up in space, like their parents work on the space station or on the Enterprise or whatever. Right. So but this is interesting because it's like he's in the minority here. Like most of them don't grow up in space at this point. Like they've been to space, like they've visited planets, but it's the equivalent of like going to another country. Like not everyone is doing that, so it's just interesting to like again, it's like the beginnings of it. It feels so much closer to where we are now and much more like feasible and realistic, and it's really interesting to see. Yeah.
And then another thing that always has to happen if you're at a campfire is somebody's got to tell a ghost story.
Yes.
And so we get like a space version of a ghost story.
Yes, this was so reminiscent of Girl Scout camp is what I was thinking while I was watching this. I was like, I remember like so many moments like this. I was just talking about how much I did, but I liked these moments of Girl Scout camp, like the ghost stories and the like that was fun. I was like, they're scouts, like that's exactly what this feels like. Which was
and
really
instead of a hand, the Borg drone had a hook.
It was really cool though. And then T'Pol's just like, well, that's not possible.
That's not
feasible. And he's like, I take it there's not many ghost stories on Vulcan. It's like, what do you think? Probably not. Like,
yeah, it was just a
thing.
cute like little scene. Like it didn't have much, but it also gave Travis something to do, which I appreciated. Like it's something other for his character to sort of. And if anybody's gonna do that and be that guy, I think Travis is the right person to do that since he does have that background. I think that the addition of the other crewmen felt a little janky, and I also felt like their dialogue didn't make a lot of sense. Like they had that whole ghost story thing, and then out of nowhere, that ensign is like, "Yep, there it is," and and the rest of them are like, there's what are you talking about? And she's like, yeah, that's our son. That's our son up there. Like she was like totally socially awkward. Like there was no, you could tell there was like an ADD component happening right there. Like her brain was already like, she's like, oh, I probably should have like introduced the topic first instead of just like jumping into it. But like they were just like, it didn't feel like they meshed super well with the bridge crew, and like therefore like they kind of just like stood on their own.
Right. It's kind of reminiscent of like Lower Decks a little bit. Like there is this division, but also I do like that we are seeing, because again, more realistic to like have a mix of like crewmen and senior staff on away missions like this, as opposed to like what we see a lot in Star Trek, which is like if there are crewmen, they're only there to die, and we never really know that much about them, or it's just senior staff all the time. And then it's not just senior staff. You have like the top 3 in the chain of command all together on the away mission, which would like never happen. So this was nice to see, like this blend of like, we do have a couple of, senior staff members on here, but we also, it's mostly, and they get to develop their characters a little bit more, I think, than we see in other Treks. So that was really interesting. Yeah. Yeah,
totally. The bit with the bug in the sleeping bag.
Oh my gosh.
Trip and Travis. That would be me.
Awesome. I would be gone. I would be like, beam me up. I'm out. Like I'm never coming back. Take me back to Earth. Like I'm out.
And Travis is like, is it okay if we phaser?
Oh yeah.
An alien.
He's like, can you phaser alien life? He's like, you can if it's in your sleep like that.
To Paula's watch, she's like, what the heck is going on?
Are you okay over there, Commander? And he's like, there's a scorpion in our sleeping bag. And it was pretty funny. Yeah.
That was great.
Fantastic. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah. Another human thing was just the aspect of like disorganization. Like as they're all leaving to go to the caves, nobody thinks to grab the food, and the food is like just blowing around in the wind. Like that to me was just hilarious, because that would happen. Like we would all grab I got my sleeping bag, I got my Nintendo Switch, I'm good. I'm good. Did you bring the food, the granola bars? Crap, sorry about that, guys. I'll go back.
That would be me. Like, I have my Janeway duck, I have my pillow, my Moopsie. Okay, I'm good. We're all good. I can survive. It's fine. I don't need food. I don't need water. So I'm good. Yeah. Oh
my gosh. What did you guys think of Novakovich as he goes absolutely crazy and tells Archer to go to hell?
I was like, ooh, okay.
To me, that was so funny. Like the rest of them are still aware of comm badges. Like even in the caves, like as they're going crazy, like they're aware of talking to Archer on the tricorder or whatever. Not tricorder. You know what I mean? Communicator.
Yeah.
But Novakovich is so far gone, he doesn't even know where the voice is coming from. He's like, who is that?
That was funny. I did think it was interesting the way it all hit them differently.
Yeah.
That was a nice detail, like a nice touch, I thought, like where they were. On that note, though, as I've said that, I did think it was interesting that they're all hallucinating the same thing. So like they were there were differences in their behavior, but they're all hallucinating the same thing, which to me, like if I were on the opposite end of this and if I was hearing the same thing from all of them, I would be like, maybe there's something happening. Like, okay, so it's not rock people, but like there's something going on because they're all getting the same thing from it. Which was so interesting. So it made me wonder, like, was there life on that planet at one point? And like, is there a reason that they were all hallucinating the same thing? And I wish that they'd maybe dug a little bit deeper into that, or they hallucinated
really
different
interesting
things.
Takeaway.
I think it'd be interesting if like all of them were seeing something different. So they were arguing with each other. So they all thought that everyone else was working for someone different. They were trying to convince them they were crazy, but like they knew the truth. Like there was just I thought that was, because like a group hallucination is like, it's a little suspicious.
And I think the show did a good job of not giving it all away, because they let us see what they were seeing too. It wasn't like we weren't in on it. Like, so we were part of that hallucination too.
Like wondering.
Which helps reinforce that maybe they are telling the truth. And T'Pol, isn't being 100% honest or whatever. And so I liked that they kind of kept that thread going, because otherwise, if we weren't seeing it, I think we wouldn't have believed it
And like T'Pol not being honest would have been totally believable at this point.
Yeah.
Like we're only like 3-4 episodes in. Like she totally could have been doing. She could still like be working for something for Vulcans that humans don't know about. So I think that would have been interesting for sure. But yeah, I was caught up on the fact like that's what was making me doubt that this episode was like that they're all seeing the same thing. So
yeah,
maybe they're not crazy. Like maybe okay, so they're not evil or whatever. But like maybe there's some merit to what they're saying. So
yeah.
Vactor, talk to me about the amazing visual effects as they almost walked into a ravine.
I've at this point prepared myself and I've said, I'm not going to have a good time if I focus on this. So I'm just going to try to close my eyes until they start talking again. And then
they must have been closing their eyes too. How do you miss that? How do you miss that?
It's kind of painful, but even just the ship landing, and then it sucks because I'm also watching Strange New Worlds with my wife at the same time, so I'm going back and forth between Enterprise and Strange New Worlds.
These amazing visual effects, and then it's what makes it look so much worse. Yeah,
I'm like, dang, this is what 20 years of development can do of visual effects. But like I said, I'm just trying to place myself in 2001 and say, remember that time, remember that.
Yeah,
I wanted to make light of something. So in the first episode, Broken Bow, there's this kind of running thread that Archer talks about. His dad tells him, "You can't be afraid of the wind. You can't be afraid of the wind," right? And then Archer tells Travis when they're at the end of the episode when they're going to go into this ion storm. He's like, "Well, you can't be afraid of the wind, Travis," right? This episode, Archer doesn't land the shuttle because of the wind. He's afraid of the wind, and the rest of the crew on the planet is essentially becoming afraid because of the wind.
Okay.
I'm like, holy moly.
That was funny, but it is hard to compare those things because it's like, well, the wind is like responsible for all their issues in this episode. So it's like, but it was really funny. I did
him like bouncing the ship off of like the rock like surface is like like, oh my gosh.
I was like, oh my God.
If you're trying to make it seem like Archer's a good pilot, this is not how you do that.
It's okay. We're spoiled by Tom Paris, best pilot in the fleet.
Yes, that's a great point.
Yeah, and everyone else falls short.
So our resident science expert, I know you talked about transporter tech on the Transporter Room podcast. So we had a little bit of transporter action in this episode, and it was proved pretty dangerous.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy dangerous because it was so windy. All the leaves and stuff were all over Novakovich as they're trying to beam him out.
Right.
And once he finally materialized on the Enterprise, he was part plant person. He was a little bit of a vegetarian at that point. What do you think about that?
Okay, so first in TNG, DS9, and Voyager, the way that they do this is they lock onto the comm badge. That's how they locate the person. I'm wondering, and I don't think they've said so far how they're doing that in Enterprise and TOS, and I could be totally missing that, and they could have said it, and I just am not aware. But if we're going by the same logic that they're using in those three, then there should be something that they have to have on them, whether it's their communicator, maybe it's in their phaser or something, I don't know, that they need to have physically on them so they can get their signal. I think that was probably more realistic maybe to the technology, and how it would work, because first of all, this would be an incredibly difficult thing to do. But when this episode comes out, you'll see how we kind of broke it down and explained it. But basically, the transporter, it does not take you and send you to a new place. It dissolves you, basically. It breaks you down at the submolecular level, and then it recreates you out of whatever, where it recreates you wherever you're going. So that's why they can only beam to an M-class planet or whatever it is, because they have to have what makes you up in that space, so they can take it and rematerialize
it's killing you.
Right. So, but to that point, it's interesting. So they must have had whatever makes up these leaves in their matter storage. Otherwise, they would not have been able to recreate it. Does that make sense? So
interesting. Okay.
That whatever those are made of must have been somewhere in their matter storage on the ship to be able to rematerialize. Which is interesting because I know they said it was M-class planet similar to Earth, but I don't know. So I thought that was I thought that was interesting.
You know what I just thought? If they could do that, can they just like make my muscles a little bigger when they rematerialize me?
That's exactly well, you guys gotta watch. I don't know when this episode will be out, the Transporter or Trek Tech episode, but I said that I was like, this is the solution to medicine. You should never need anything else in medicine. If you can do this, then you can fix anything. Like if you have a cold, you could just beam from one side of the room to the other and get rid of the cold. If you have, like an injury, if you break your arm on an away mission, when they beam you up, they should just fix the arm.
Yeah.
You should never be injured when you come back from an away mission ever. They should just fix it on your way up. So
you just come back with washboard abs.
Yeah, like, but then you get into the whole argument because then it's like, well, you are messing with what makes you you. So at that point, like, you do have to change. So I think there's a lot of ethical. This is a very big ethical discussion to have. This is the same discussion as, is genetic modification okay? Because that's basically what you're doing, right? If you're doing something like that, or like, well, I want longer hair, so when you transport me, can you just give me long blonde hair, right? Like maybe. So it's right, like, or I want blue eyes or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So, but for medicine, for sure, I think this is they should never be using anything else. This is the solution to medicine if we were able to do this. And it's interesting to me that they never use it for that ever.
Yeah.
But we know they have like biofilters, because like they'll say, I hear this a lot of, why didn't our biofilters pick that up? Or, oh, well, it must have gotten filtered out in our biofilters. Like when they're picking up pathogens on these planets, they do filter it out when they come back. So we know that they use this in some capacity. So it's not like an ethical guideline. They just don't think about it, I guess. Like, I don't know. Very interesting.
Huh. Wow.
Yeah.
See, I'm so glad I wrote that note down. That's fantastic. Well, speaking of which, we talk about, in the past episodes, we've talked about the decon chamber and how in like the first, so like in the first episode, they apparently got infected with something. They were contaminated, and then they had to rub a bunch of jelly on each other and, have fun with each other's earlobes and get their fingers in between and, it's really touch each other inappropriately. But this episode, they legitimately do get contaminated, and they never go to the decon.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Like okay,
this
so we're definitely missing some logic
to do
here.
A decon scene.
But then you could argue here, well, when they transport it back up, they just filtered it out. Like, which, I mean, well, did they transport up or did they use a shuttle?
I think they took the shuttle.
Remember.
Yeah.
Okay, shuttle. But like, again, see, should have transported because you could have just filtered it out and done with it.
Yeah.
Like that's. So once I realized that, I've never able to see any of these episodes the same way again, because it's like, well, there's such an obvious solution here that none of you are thinking about. Like, it's also like it's a respawn point, because if you beam down to an away mission and you die, as long as they have matter in their storage, they have your transporter pattern. They can just recreate you. Now, should they? I don't know. But
look
that's
at
what
that, Vactor.
it is.
You're no longer expendable.
But every time now, like, should they do that?
I mean, it's Vactor. I want him back. He's like my best.
Yeah, of course. I said this on the episode of Transporter Room, but this would have been a really great episode if they had. This should be an episode of Star Trek at some point, and I don't think they've done this, but some deranged scientist in Starfleet or Starfleet officer who's gone mad with grief, respawns from their last save point, basically the loved one that they've lost, and then the ethical implications of that, and then like what Starfleet has to say about it, blah 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 blah. Like, it would be a fantastic episode.
Yeah,
that was such a classic Trek episode too.
It feels kind of akin to Year of Hell with the way the Krenim are willing to completely change the timeline as long as it results in the re-emergence of their civilization and everything, and specifically like his wife and his kid and blah 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 and all that stuff. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that would be a great episode.
Get me in the writer's room. Paramount, I'm here. I'm ready. I got you. Give me 2 years to graduate, and then I'm all yours.
I don't have a ton of notes for the rest of the episode, other than we do get to see T'Pol actually kind of lose it. Which, like, we've talked a little bit about how T'Pol is an emotional Vulcan in her own right, but now we really see like how she can dial that up a bit, and I thought that was an interesting thing.
He pushed her beyond her meditation. And I think this is interesting because we get to see that Vulcans do have limits. Like, their meditation can only do so much. Like, and for the most part, they're able to maintain it. But I love when we get to see Vulcans. I know I said at the beginning, I was like, well, it's just inconsistent with what we know that they were all acting that way. And I stand by that. Like, generally, they shouldn't be acting emotional. But in a situation like this, I did really like that, because it was like, no, they do have emotions. They just suppress them really well. But there is a way to break past that, which I feel like we don't often get to see, but when we do, it's really interesting and it reminds us like of all this like really deep, really rich history of Vulcans. So I thought that was good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did you? Sorry, go ahead, Vactor. I'm sorry.
I agree with everything Linda said.
Okay. What I was going to say is this episode, when I was watching it, and because I couldn't remember how it ended, I was pretty convinced that Novakovich was going to die.
Yeah.
There was not going to, he was going to be quote unquote the red shirt of this episode, but he didn't. And I thought that was a really interesting choice for what Trek tropes would be, right? So like, especially on like an away mission to a planet, and it's probably one of the first, maybe it is the first planet that they've been on since they kicked off their mission, right? So I did a little bit of digging on this because I thought it was a little bit strange that they went this route instead of having him be dead and have that be a thing. So apparently Scott Bakula, aka Captain Archer, he insisted that the death of a crew member would be significant, and that if there was not time to address that point and properly mourn the death, that the character would need to survive. And so he essentially influenced this episode so that this guy would live, because he didn't feel like that.
I don't hate that perspective.
He didn't feel like there was enough time to properly dig into that. So
that makes sense.
Yeah, I like that perspective.
I agree.
I think because we don't really see them. I guess we do in Voyager and TNG a little bit. I'm not far enough in DS9 yet, but like with TNG we get to see them more in Tasha Yar, but she was a bridge crew member, so like that's a little bit different. And then I will say in Voyager I feel like they do the best job of like expressing loss over other crewmen. Like there's a bunch of episodes where it's like they're talking about like we never see them while they're alive, but we get to hear about them after they're dead, like
right,
who weren't bridge crew members. So I do think the Enterprise so far has done a really good job of like there are other people on the ship and they also matter and they are also human beings or you know, whatever. And we appreciate their contributions, and they're people and they have families and their lives are just as important as the bridge crew members. So I like that. I'm on board with that plan. We'll see if they stick to it in Enterprise, but he didn't want to be another TOS with red shirts dying every week.
No, I can't guarantee that there aren't going to be episodes where crewmen die, but I truly do not remember if and when that happens. So if it happens, it'll be a surprise to me too.
All right. We'll see.
Much love to Phlox you can just see he cares. The dude cares. Like, and I really love that.
It's the first time we got to see him be a little emotional, I think. Like he's been so like,
and he's been so confident up until this point too.
Yeah.
Like he like has a solution, a very like radical alien like compound solution for everything, but like this one it didn't quite work and he made some choices that he regretted, and there was it was a nice moment for him character development wise. So anyways, that's all I've got personally. If you guys had any final thoughts you wanted to share, go for it.
No, I think we've covered what I have to say.
Yeah it was a great episode. I really enjoyed it.
It really was. It was.
Yeah. So well, with that, let's go ahead and wrap up. Give everybody a chance to plug anything they want to. Captain Linda, go ahead and kick us off. I know you've got some things happening, but definitely feel free to plug whatever you'd like to.
Yes. So first I'll plug, I work for a company called Orbital Edge News. If you're looking for your space news updates, if you're a space nerd like me, which if you're watching this podcast, I'm assuming you probably are, then please head over on Instagram. We don't have a TikTok yet, but we will soon, and YouTube for your latest space news updates, featuring, of course, yours truly. We have an incredible team. It's been a lot of fun. Also, of course, I'm continuing to do work with the Transporter Room. We've got a lot of exciting things coming up. We have recently announced our new segment called Trek Tech, where we talked a little bit about it today, about the transporters and everything, but I'm going to get to explain the science behind a bunch of cool Star Trek technologies and episodes. So it's very, very exciting. You might get a feature from one of my physics professors soon, who is a Trekkie and has asked to be on. So exciting stuff.
So cool. Captain Vactor.
I am talking about all things comic books over at This Comic Cooks. Right now I'm doing a series where every day I'm trying to respond to different fans asking me to talk about different Marvel characters. If they got a Green Lantern ring, what color would they get? So I'm having a lot of fun talking about all the different colors and emotions and the spectrum and everything. So all of that can be found on TikTok and YouTube at This Comic Cooks.
Fantastic. Yes.
Amazing.
Yes. Yeah, Vactor's doing an amazing job with that. He's really very carefully selecting what ring they get, and I think he's doing a great job with it. So, and then for myself, Captain Shoff, I am manning the TreknoPod TikTok account, and doing my very best to try to bring some funny content on a regular
It's
basis.
hilarious, guys. It's really
Doing
funny.
an excellent
lot of
job.
Voyager. There's a lot
Thank
of Voyager
you.
content making me really happy.
Yeah, because of the rewatch of Voyager, I've definitely been very like Voyager coded for most of my stuff, which is great because honestly, you can see how much the community loves Voyager and can really relate to it, and that's been really, really positive.
Yeah.
And honestly, I love the Trek fandom. Everybody is the community is great, and I'm
It's
really appreciative
phenomenal.
of that.
It's been so amazing. I feel like I mention on TikTok sometimes about like the creepy comments and DMs and stuff like that, but I feel like I don't talk enough about how welcoming and accepting the vast majority of the community is.
Yeah.
And I was at Star Trek Orlando last weekend, and it was such a busy weekend, but it was so amazing to meet so many people in person who were like, I follow you, or like some of my mutuals in person. One person gave me a friendship bracelets, which was so kind. Someone gave me a print of Major Kira that she made, which was amazing. And yeah, it was just such a phenomenal it was really amazing to meet so many amazing people. How many times can I say amazing? It was great to meet some person. And yeah, it's such a welcoming community, and it's been such an incredible summer and such an incredible opportunity to kind of officially be accepted into the Trek communities.
Yes, so great. So great. Well, I'm going to try and do some cool things on the TreknoPod TikTok with some Star Trek Lego builds.
And
yes, I saw that.
I was so shocked. People are really responding positively to it, and that just tells me I'm like, you know what? I might have found a little bit of a niche here.
You might have found a niche, yeah. 100%.
So we're going to go ahead and maybe explore that a bit.
When you get to a Voyager Lego, let me know, because I'll be asking
I may already have the pieces for that. I may have been keeping it a secret.
Right there between my Janeway Barbie and my space books. My physics books.
Yes.
Yeah.
So definitely tune into that. And also thank you so much for listening to our podcast, whether it's on YouTube or on Spotify or wherever you get your podcast. We really do appreciate you taking the time to listen to us. And please, 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 if you know any other Trekkies, spread the word. We're always looking for just the fun that we're having. We want to share that with others. So with that in mind, we hope that you have a great rest of your week. And please tune in next week for another mission through Enterprise on episode 5. I don't know what the episode's called, but it's okay because we're going to have a great time no matter what. Yay. We always want you to live long and prosper.